Hello everyone, Jackie here. Welcome back to my channel, and today in this video I want all of you guys to put your tinfoil hats on because I have a really crazy theory about Game of Thrones Season 8. If you watched my video about why I think the spin-off might potentially be about the Dance of Dragons, I said in that video that while researching the Dance of Dragons, I came up with this really crazy theory involving Winterfell and dragons. So if you watch that video, some of this may sound a little familiar, but I'm going to go over this theory completely for those of you who did not watch that video. Now, I know this theory is really crazy, and to be completely honest, it probably won't happen, but I still think it's a really cool theory, and when I thought of it, I searched everywhere I could think on the internet to see if someone else had already come up with this theory, and I couldn't find anything. I was shocked that no one else had thought of this before, so I decided just to make a video about it. What do I have to lose? I don't think this will actually happen based on how I think the story is going to end, but I still think it's just really cool to think about, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Now, this theory is going to discuss potential spoilers about Season 8 of Game of Thrones, so please proceed with caution if you do not want any potential spoilers. The basis of this theory is an event from the Dance of Dragons that was originally supposed to be included in the World of Ice and Fire, but was cut due to a lack of space. Jacaerys Velaryon was the son of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, and he went to Winterfell during the Dance of Dragons to convince Lord Cregan Stark to support his mother in the Civil War. Now, according to the accounts of a fool named Mushroom, while he was at Winterfell, Jace fell in love with Lord Cregan's bastard half-sister. He fell so in love with her that they secretly married, and he left with her some dragon eggs that his dragon had laid. And supposedly, these eggs are still in the crypts of Winterfell to this day. Now, a lot of people wrote these off as nonsense because these rumors were coming from Mushroom, who was a dwarf court jester, and people just didn't believe that he was telling the truth. They thought he was making things up or he was crazy. However, it's hard for me to believe that this would have been thrown in there if it wasn't true. There has to be some sort of fact in this story, otherwise why would George want to include it in the World of Ice and Fire? I think it is so interesting that the place these eggs are supposed to be is in the Winterfell crypts. Now, in the A Song of Ice and Fire book series starting in book 1, Jon describes this recurring dream he's been having where he has to go to the Winterfell crypts. In book 1, A Game of Thrones, he tells Sam that he has this dream where he's at Winterfell, no one else is around, and he has to go down to the crypts for some reason that he doesn't know. He feels like there's something down there that is compelling him to go, and it scares him. So he dreams that he goes down into the crypts in the darkness, and the old kings of winter at their crypts, their statues, are telling him, "You're not a Stark, you're not a Stark, you're not a Stark." So, if there really were dragon eggs in this crypt, is it possible that Jon is having this reoccurring dream because he's a secret Targaryen, and a part of him needs to go down to the crypts to find these eggs? Additionally, recently I have been reading A Clash of Kings, book 2 in the series, and there is a quote from Bran in this book when he is fleeing from the burning Winterfell that really grabbed my attention. I'm going to read it to you. "The smoke and ash clouded his eyes, and in the sky he saw a great winged snake whose roar was a river of flame. He bared his teeth, but then the snake was gone." So what Bran is describing that he saw in this scene sounds a lot like a dragon. He's talking about this big snake-like creature that he claims he saw fly away from Winterfell. So this could mean two things. Either one, there is a Winterfell dragon that already hatched in the books when Winterfell burned, or two, Bran was having some sort of vision of the future and the things to come. So many people have discussed what is it that it takes for dragon eggs to hatch, and I've seen several people say they think in order for dragon eggs to hatch, it requires fire and blood. Not only are these the House Targaryen words, but they might also be instructions on how to hatch dragons. Now, in the case of Daenerys, all of her dragons hatched on Drogo's funeral pyre. That's the fire, and there were 3 significant losses in Daenerys' life right before she hatched her 3 dragons, Khal Drogo, her brother Viserys, and her unborn son Rhaego. So, is it that the fire from this funeral pyre and the blood, metaphorical blood, from these 3 men is what enabled these dragons to come to life? Okay, so this is when we're getting into a little bit of a spoiler territory, so proceed with caution. If you don't want any spoilers about Season 8, now is the time to click out of this video. Alright, everybody good? Let's keep going then. So, according to reports from Watchers on the Wall, there will be a fire at Winterfell in Season 8, which causes the whole place to go up in smoke. Videos were taken of the Winterfell set burning in Northern Ireland where they film, so this means that likely after some battle, whether it would be with the Night King or Cersei, Winterfell is going to get torched. Now, what will be available in this scenario? Fire and blood, because Winterfell will be burning, and it will be after some kind of great battle has taken place, meaning there are plenty of fallen soldiers and lots of blood, and this fire and blood could possibly hatch these dragons that have been incubating under Winterfell for all these years. Also, yes, I definitely think these potential eggs would still be viable because it's mentioned in the books multiple times that Winterfell is on top of a hot spring, so I think this natural heat would have kept the eggs incubated during this time period that passes. So, like I said earlier in this video, I am not entirely convinced that this will actually happen on Season 8 of the show because we're getting a bittersweet ending, and that made me kind of think that there may not be any dragons anymore at the end of this show. However, I have previously in the past thought about perhaps Drogon and Rhaegal producing an egg together, and that representing hope for the future, but maybe instead of the two of them producing an egg, there will be these eggs that hatch at Winterfell, and that is the promise for the future, the promise that the dragons will live on, that there is still hope. And I thought that maybe these dragons of Winterfell could represent how Jon himself is the dragon of Winterfell. He was a secret Targaryen who was raised as a Stark. They're the dragons of Winterfell, just like Jon is. And perhaps if a dragon hatches from Winterfell, this could be the dragon that will one day go to the baby that Jon and Daenerys are inevitably going to have together next season. So guys, thank you for indulging me with this really crazy theory that I had. Let me know in the comments if you think this might actually happen or if you think I'm just being preposterous. Also, please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. If there's any kind of topic that you want me to cover in relation to Game of Thrones on my channel, leave that in the comments and I will do my best to answer your question. So thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye!